very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Right, left, then left, right. I seen him stutter word. He didn't duck and got stuck with your uppercut. I put my hand up to God like his heart filled with stress. Throwing blows in his square so I could see who's best. Right, left, then left, right. I seen him stutter word. He didn't duck and got stuck with your uppercut. I put my hand up to God like his heart filled with stress. Throwing blows in his square so I could see who's best. Right, left, then left, right. I seen him stutter word. He didn't duck and got stuck with your uppercut. I put my hand up to God like his heart filled with stress. Throwing blows in his square so I could see who's best.
Before we start the podcast today, I just want to give a little shout out to one of the sponsors of the show, Portland Nutrition Corner. For those who don't know, I work there part-time Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2. We got everything. As you see on the homepage on the website here, pncmain.com, amino acids, fat burners, fish oils, general health, greens formulas. I mean, it's all there. We got it all. Pre-workouts, proteins, sleep aids, all of it. Brands. We got all the brands that are popular in the industry. Axe and Sledge, 5% Nutrition, I Prevail supplements. Free shipping of orders over $99. And if we don't have it on the website, give a call. I'll bring up the phone number right now. And we can take phone orders and have it sent to you. Shoot us an email on socials, PNC Main on Instagram. Give us a follow. Come in and say what's up. Once again, Portland, Maine Nutrition Corner, 85 Western Ave, South Portland, Maine. Enjoy.
She's lighting over there.
What's happening, bro?
Hey, what's up, dude? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. Yeah, I know we've never officially met. How's your evening going?
It was good. Just got back from training legs, and it's a good workout.
Good.
How's yours going?
It's good. It's a rest day for me today. A much needed one. Dude, I don't know about you, but as I've been aging, I'm not a young guy anymore. I always used to train at least like 3 to 4 days before I took a rest day. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if I need to do 2 on, 1 off.
How old are you?
35.
All right, so I'm 40.
Yeah.
I can still do 3 days in a row. Pretty hard. Like last off season, I just did 2 on, 1 off. That was my first time really doing that. It worked great.
Yeah.
And then what I'm doing now is, but what I was doing is I was hit last year and all off season, even through prep, I was doing 2 on, 1 off, but I was hitting every body part every 6 days. So there was a little bit higher frequency. What I'm doing now is I train 3 days on, 1 day off, 2 days on, 1 day off. So it's like a 7-day split.
Yeah.
But I hit chest twice a week, legs twice a week, triceps twice a week, back twice a week. But the overall volume is extremely low.
Yep.
But the frequency is high. I've been able, I'm coming out of my post show, and I'm, obviously lowering the compounds as I get closer to the TRT dosing, which will start in February. And I've still been beating my logbook and progressing every single week, whether it's been reps, weight, or just overall control.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great. It's been what? How many weeks post nationals is it now? It's like
let's see, December 14th
yeah.
to January 14th would have been 4 weeks. So about 5 weeks, I think.
About 5 weeks. Weeks.
Yeah.
How much you up in weight?
I was, I think 226 this morning.
Okay. Nice. And what were you on stage?
I was on stage at 202.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
I weighed in at 196.
Gotcha. Yep. Just to sneak down into the
it was a pretty aggressive cut to make weight. I was actually just for the last, because I did the Long Island show 3 weeks prior, and I was 204 on stage, and so I was like, I'll be honest, I was kind of nervous because when my food's really low and I'm pushing cardio really hard, my weight will start to go up.
Really?
So, yeah, because I have a blood condition where fatigue level can increase really quickly on me, and I'll just get my body will just be a giant ball of stress, and I'll just start holding water and inflammation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's when I'd go to my coach. I'm like, hey, look, my weight's starting to creep up. He'd be like, just pull cardio for a few days.
Yep.
Weight comes right down.
Yeah, it comes right back down.
Yeah,
Wow,
I was
that's
taking
amazing.
I was doing like really hot Epsom salt baths every single night before bed. That was pulling a couple pounds off just in water.
Mhm.
And then the day of weigh-ins, I woke up at like 198, just under 199. I had to be 198 and a quarter. So I literally wore like 2 pairs of sweatpants, t-shirts, 2 hoodies, and I was in my hotel room and I put the heat to 90 degrees and I was just sitting there just watching like just all the John Wick movies just roasting. And then all of a sudden I checked the weight. I'm like, it was like 196.6 or 196.7. I'm like, okay, good. And then made weight was at 196 even on the dot. And then we started reintroducing carbs and stuff. I was about 202 on stage. That was actually my best look ever by
I
far.
was gonna say I was there. You looked crazy. It looked really good.
Oh, I didn't know you were there. That's pretty awesome, man. I gotta be honest, man. Like I was not expecting my placing. I really wasn't, man.
Really?
Yeah, I was like my all-time best. I for sure thought I was gonna get first call out. Definitely didn't get first call out, but it is what it is.
Well, yeah. I mean, nationals is nationals, and everybody's good. But like, yeah. I mean, leading into it, I followed you for a while, and yeah, I thought the look was crazy. I mean, light heavyweights was very stacked. It was very good. It was deep as hell.
Mm.
But
they, I was talking with the judges. And a couple of the judges told me that Tyler has like a look that he was going for, which is, because a couple of the guys in the first call out, like they had like no hamstrings, like they had like soft. Some of them was soft, and like the glutes. They had really good tapers and tiny waist. Like Julian Sanchez, who won, looked awesome. Yeah. The guy that got second was really good too. But they had a smaller frame,
Yeah.
And what they told me, they were like, you have an athletic waist, is what they told me.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think I have a huge blocky waist, but it's certainly not like a tiny waist like those first call out guys had.
For sure.
So they just said that they want me to just build my back bigger, more lats, just to create more of a taper. So
nice.
That's what we're gonna do.
I guess before we go any further, I'll just have you introduce yourself for people who don't know.
Oh, yeah, sure. My name is Chris Pantano. I live up in Auburn, Massachusetts. I've been, competing since 2008. I took quite a few years off from 2014 to about 2022 off from competing just to kind of focus on finances and whatnot and just get myself in the right headspace. I am a registered dietitian. I went to school for medical nutrition therapy. I also have a degree in biochemistry, so I'm kind of a book nerd. I've been in the supplement industry and fitness industry for a long time now. I've been lifting for 23 years. Being a bodybuilder has been a dream of mine since I was like 8 years old. I also have my own coaching business and stuff too, which is really cool, and got some really good sponsorships behind me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you wanted to do this since a very early age then, because a lot of people kind of find it, post whatever sports or high school or college or whatever, but you knew you wanted to do this like out the gate.
Yeah, before it took me a while before I really acted upon that, but I just loved I grew up watching all the Arnold movies and stuff from 3 years old. All my uncles were into powerlifting. My dad was a pretty big guy. My grandfather, he did Olympic lifting, was a boxer from Brockton, was actually friends with Rocky Marciano.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has pictures with him and everything. Everyone in the group in Brockton was like, oh, I knew Rocky. It's like, no, he was actually friends with him because, he was a little bit older than my grandfather at the time, but they were very close in age. And,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why maybe I haven't turned pro yet, because it's been my dream and I've been trying so hard to do it. And it's you look at some of these guys that have turned pro and stuff, they kind of just fall into it after college sports, Phil Heath wanted to be in the NBA, and then he just kind of stumbled it. Ronnie Coleman was working, playing college football, delivering pizzas and stuff, and he just fell into it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Yeah, I guess thinking about it that way, that's funny. Like you've wanted it so long. That's not the reason you're not pro. You know what I've decided as I've gotten older in bodybuilding? I'm so sick of I guess chasing a look, regardless of what that look is, whatever the powers that be want the look to
Yeah.
be. I'm so content now with bodybuilding the way I like bodybuilding, whether that's the movements I like in the gym. Obviously, I'm somewhat limited now compared to 10 years ago, but the movements that I like, building the pieces that I want, like I always just have this thought for what I want to look like. And like at the end of the day, like if I never place well in a pro show, I really, at least at this point in this mindset, I really don't care. I just want to bring what I want to bring to the stage, I guess.
Yeah, bodybuilding is it's kind of very intimate when I say, because it's very personal.
Yeah.
And, to me, it's getting on stage, for the short time that you're up there hitting the poses and stuff. Like, I love that and it's fun. But, when that's all said and done, I look back and, like I definitely like pushed the hardest I ever did in a prep to look the way I did. And I
Mhm.
look back and I'm like, man, I felt like dog shit. I was tired. Like, I dyed the fat off the bottom of my feet. Like when I'm flat footed as hell. So walking hurt. And
Yeah.
just thinking about going through all that, it just gives me a rush. So that's like
Yeah.
the journey it's like the whole journey that you get to endure, or, you get to embarking. So it's like, no one forces you to do this.
No,
It's not
no.
like someone's putting a gun to my head. You need to eat, chicken and rice and be in a calorie deficit and do cardio and do this. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's very yeah, it's very much like a cathartic thing in a way.
Mm,
Like I don't know. Sometimes when me and Shay are just sitting here and we're talking about like where we're at in bodybuilding, where we'd like to go. Um, I just kind of like think back to where it began, where I am now. And I don't have everything in life, right? But I'm comfortable at this point in life. Comfortable as in like I don't worry about my bank account like I used to
yeah.
8 years
Yep.
ago. I don't wonder like, oh, what bill can I push off to pay this bill to get through to the next month? Um, and like kind of owe that all to following bodybuilding blindly. Like
Yeah.
just blindly following it because I just love it's not even the stage. I don't love the stage. Like I love the all the aspects that kind of go into it besides that. But yeah, it's a weird emotional connection I have with bodybuilding.
I agree. And then even with me, there's certain things that are very nostalgic to me, um, and, even though I'm not a pro and stuff like that, the sport itself has been very good to me.
Mhm.
I've been sponsored, I've been with 3 different sponsors for a long time now that have really been good to me, and I'm very loyal to them. And I love all the stuff that they do. I have met so many really good people. If it wasn't for bodybuilding, I probably would have never met my fiance, because
Yeah.
we met at the Arnold Classic in 2019.
Yep.
So, and I just have so many friends, and it's been pretty cool to just connect with people like all over the world, and then you get to go meet up and you train and you eat and you get to share all that together, and that's what's really cool.
100%. No, I
Yeah.
completely agree. So this last nationals was my girlfriend's first national show ever. And I told her to like when you're there, just like try and slow down. Just I know
Mhm.
that's so hard to do because you're always on to the next, but I was like, just try and slow down and remember that like you have got to the point that most never get to. And this experience of getting on stage and like meeting these elite level girls after and building these friendships, like that's the cool part about bodybuilding. And I really think she got it because she left that nationals. She made first call outs and she got fourth and she
Hell
looked really
yeah.
good. But she left that nationals with just this sense of like, this is like this is a happy place. This is a happy thing. This is a core memory. And I
Oh,
think that's really important because man, like I call it bodybuilding days or bodybuilding time. Like I think about years and sections, right? Like 16 weeks, 20 weeks. Oh, and then before you know it, a year's gone. And it goes so quick that sometimes I feel like we just need to slow down and be like, dude, this is crazy. Like, this is crazy what we do and what we get to experience. Like, yeah, I just always think we kind of wish it away to the next show or the next prep or, the next off season, whatever it may be.
I did that very early on in my career. And I think when I got back on stage in 2022, because I am older, so I know it's like, even though my body's doing great and, I'm probably at a cellular level, I'm probably like 25 or 30 years old. I learned when I came back on there and it's like, okay, like I'm doing this, like I don't know how much time I have left before I just either don't want to do this or I get up in age. So with me coming back to the stage, I was like, I'm going to enjoy this. And, just because with me, I'm not like super cranky when I diet, but I don't like to be around people. So I like to self-isolate.
Yep.
And that's just what works for me. And because I just don't I have severe ADHD, I get distracted so easy. So for me to be around, like when I used to diet back in the day, like I'd still go out to like nightclubs and I'd like leave the club to go eat a meal in my car. And I'm like, I don't even want to waste my time doing that anymore, because I had like, all my friends and stuff weren't always doing that at the time. So for me, it was like FOMO really bad, where I just don't want to miss out on all these experiences. And then as I've gotten older, now I'm just like, this is the experiences that I really want to enjoy, whether it's like out in the cold grilling chicken one night, it's like, I get to do this,
Yeah, exactly.
I get to get up and do cardio. Yeah. I get to lift and still do this, because there's some people that can't walk. There's people that have terminal diseases and everything. And to be honest, there's people out there that'll look at all of us and be like, I wish we had, that guy's life, just like I know it's like, I've never once wished I had someone else's life. I've always enjoyed my own and the process, because it's your own life, I don't ever want to live trying to be somebody else or be something I'm not. I like to just be me. And with doing that, I enjoy just lifting and eating. And, I like the structure. Yeah. And at the same time too, it makes you also appreciate all the other times when like you're out with your friends and stuff. So
absolutely. What's up, Brandon?
What up?
What's up, bud?
Chris.
How are you?
Good, you?
Good, man.
Smash legs?
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go? Good?
Good.
It's good.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Well, 2 leg workouts ago. It was
you tweaked something, right?
Yeah, last Thursday I was doing swing squats, and I had my knees wrapped, and I was going deep, and something felt kind of weird. And then I was doing Bulgarian split squats afterwards, and I just went down on my left knee, and because I don't have a PCL in my left knee, I went down and it was like something shifted and just popped, and I'm like, ooh, and it hurt. So I didn't finish my workout that time. But over like 2 days, I went to my massage therapist guy, Rich, and over 2 days, we did about 4.5 hours of body work. And then I had a bunch of like topical and, injectable like BPC peptides and stuff like that. I just was blasting those. Trained legs again on Sunday. Like I had an awesome mind muscle connection, and I just finished training legs today. It was great. So it was good. I think looking back, I think what the problem was is, so I used knee wraps when I used to squat heavy, and like when I do like squat variations, like a swing squat or like a heavy hack squat. And the way my workout is set up now is I do like adductors first, and then I do like a hamstring movement. So my adductors, my hamstrings are so pumped. And then when you're wrapping your knees, you have all that material behind your kneecap. So when you go really deep, I think all that material plus the pump, it almost like hyperextends that patella tendon or something. And I think that's maybe what kind of popped. Luckily, it wasn't anything serious.
Yeah.
So I used knee sleeves tonight, and it felt a million times better.
I had the same issue. Like, I want to say might have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And I thought I had torn my meniscus. Like I was going down, I was doing a pendulum, and I felt it. Like I had 3 plates on it. I'm like, this feels fine. And then all of a sudden, like I went down and I'm like I went down gingerly on the last rep, and I'm like, And then I still upped the weight, and I went up to 4.
And then I went up to 4, and I was like 5 reps into it, and all of a sudden it just went, and I was just like, oh,
You okay now?
Yeah. I just literally did exactly what you did.
You know, it's tough too because it's like, you know, to get the movement to hit right, you want to get that knee flexion.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then sometimes when you're doing that tiny, you don't always have the most room for error, you know. And it's not like any of us are spring chickens anymore. You know,
We just got a pendulum squat at our gym, and I've used pendulum squats before, but I've never.
What brand is it?
Dude, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. It's like an off-brand, you know, I think he just picked it up somewhere for the cheap. It is definitely not the most sturdy pendulum squat I've ever been on.
Yeah.
But it's always fun, like relearning a pattern. Like I feel like I'm starting from the bottom again. And it's like, all right, time to get fucking strong as hell on this movement. So that's been fun the last couple of weeks.
I love that thing, like, because when I do it at Eric's gym at Reality in Tingsboro, man, dude, that thing, because he has the Paramount and using the Paramount.
that one's heavy.
Oh, dude, it is.
Oh my God, I've used one of those before.
But the thing is, I've gotten up to 5 plates on that thing, but it took forever to build up to that 5 plates because that thing was like, when I first started using it, I'm like, holy fuck, this is way different than a regular pendulum.
Yeah. That
Paramount is just like, it's so old school. That's what I love about his gym. He has so many old school pieces in that gym.
That's
nice. Eric's invited me down there. I haven't gotten over there yet.
Yeah, you'd love the equipment he has there.
Yeah.
Both of you.
He has a really good hack squat there that I love.
Yeah.
That one's really good. You have to
going
get down there.
Going to Montanari Brothers this weekend. So I'm excited.
That is my favorite gym.
Me too.
Yeah, I've trained at probably like 300 different gyms all across the U.S. over the years because I travel for work. So I just get to hit up all the cool gyms, and that one always remains very close and dear to my heart.
It's the best, I think.
I just think they have like a mixture of like all old school and new school as well. So it's just like it hits on every aspect and every level.
And just the environment there, the layout, it's all perfect.
You get amped walking in the fucking door. You're
exactly.
You're there to work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like one of the only gyms I've ever seen that has like that old school standing lat pull down, and that was something that like Evan personally went out and found.
Yeah.
And that was a good one.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love cats.
Yeah, I did. I'm
thinking about the cat guy on the podcast. The cat, literally, this cat always makes an appearance every episode.
If I let my cats in right now, there'd be a cat in my lap and a cat on the keyboard, so I can't do it. I would get annoyed that. Have either of you guys tried the Olympus gym? Is that what it's called? Olympus?
I actually just talked to the owner. I forget his name. I was literally messaging him last night, and I don't know. That might have been his name.
Alan.
Yeah, I was just talking with him last night. He started following me on Instagram, and I was like, man, I got to come check your gym out. He's like, dude, whenever you want, come down. You're always welcome. So I can't wait to check that one out. And that one's maybe like 30 minutes from me.
Nicest guy you'll ever fucking meet.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, you try paying him, and he's like, nope. He's just like, he wants like, he's all about like the athletes and like trying to get them in there and take care of them. And he loves like, he works with Nate Spear.
Yeah, I was going to say he's one of Nate Spear's clients, I think.
Yeah, he did classic physique, but like I've been to his gym like half a dozen times, and it's fucking top notch.
It's awesome.
I like the overall aesthetic of the gym. I like the stuff that's painted on the wall. Like, I mean, you know, it's cool. Not a lot of places like that.
So, Chris, the first time I actually learned who you were was it was a training video of one of my friends, Tim Reed.
Oh, I guess funny stories about Tim.
I was going to ask you about some stories about Tim. Yeah. So I saw the first video I saw is I think you guys were dressed up for Halloween and you were bench pressing shirtless.
Yeah, we held a press conference is what we called it.
So I was going to ask you if you have any funny stories about Tim.
So Tim, okay. So I used to train at this gym called Club X. It was in East Bridgewater, one of my old stomping grounds. And I remember I was in there training and Tim was there. And it was the first time I see him. He was just like staring at me. And then finally he came up and he's like, hey, and he's talking to me and stuff. And at the time, he told me at the time, he's like, you just look incredible to me. And I mean, I was not anything what I look like now, And then I'm like, oh, how long you been lifting for? And he was telling me, and then he told me his age, and I was just like, what? Yeah. I'm like, he looks like my age, and I'm like, looks like he's got a mortgage or something, like that type of thing. And him and I were like pretty much inseparable at that point. We actually lived together. Yeah, we had an apartment. We called it the Diesel Factory. And we had like this one, like this apartment was a piece of shit. We paid like our rent was like $800. We split it in half. And we had like this whole pantry, and when you walked in there, it was just covered with like the posters from MD that you would rip out of the thing, and it was just all filled with supplements. And then we actually worked at GNC together, so it was like we lived together, we worked together, we trained all the time together, went like food shopping. There was this one time he like got in the shopping cart. He's like 280 pounds, at the time, and we weren't pretty when we were that heavy. That was I was like 264. I looked like I had a root beer barrel keg for a stomach. And I put it, he got in the shopping cart, and he's like, pretend he's a little child, and he's like reaching for cookies. I'm like, no, put that down. He's like, I want it now. And he's like screaming and shit. And that was really fun. We'd finish like back workouts. We'd go to Wendy's, and we'd spend like $15 to $20 off the dollar menu. It'd be like 6,000 calories of pure shit, There was another time where there was a raccoon on our back porch, and he was like feeding it, and the thing like took a friggin' chunk out of his hands. We had to go to the emergency room wicked late at night so he get tested for rabies and all that stuff. And he was a good friend of mine for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Tim is still massive. Everybody, if people don't know, go check. Just search the Northeast Beast. He is a
he looks fantastic. I talked to him maybe like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you gonna ever get back on stage again? He was like, I have no desire to. He's like, there's no bodybuilders up where he is, up in like, Maine. There's like one traffic light in his town that he lives in, probably. So
me and him are from pretty much the same town. So that's how we know each other. Yeah. So where he is right now, there is nothing going on at all. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, he's funny though. I like a lot of his like reels and stuff, and his mindset's really good. We have similar mindsets where it's just like, like stop playing victim, just stop doing this, and just goddamn like be a man, take care of your goddamn
business. Be a man, do the work. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Yeah, his videos are pretty entertaining.
They're hilarious.
Oh yeah,
they're hilarious. So I'm gonna pull your page up real quick, Chris, because it's Chris Pantano squats.
Correct.
And you have a video that you recently pinned to the top here. I don't know if you recently pinned it, but you reposted on your story a couple of days ago. And it's you squatting 800 pounds.
Yeah, I was over at MetFit. They had like a picture of me doing that, like blown up on their wall for the longest time. I don't know if it's still there or not, but
can we talk about just that one squat for a second? So had you ever squatted 800 before prior to that? Now the heaviest I've ever had on back is 700. And that felt absolutely like bone crushing, body crushing. My wrists hurt, my elbows hurt. What was how did this feel?
So the way I don't know if you'd call it was positioned like a low bar squat. It's kind of like a hybrid, I would say. The way that bar feels on my back to like how it's centered with, I guess, with like how my legs, it doesn't feel very heavy to me. Even when I unrack that, I'm like, okay, this doesn't feel that heavy. I mean, it's heavy.
It's fucking nothing.
Yeah. I actually wish I went for 2 on that. And I was only 220 pounds here, or around 220 pounds.
That's insane.
And I was training more like a power lifter and stuff. So I had done like 765 for 2. I hit 700 or 725 for like 4 or 5 reps before. I had building up to this, I did like 7 plates per side, which was 675. I hit that for like 8 or 9 reps. And then
these were reps. These were leading up to 800.
No, these were just separate times that were kind of like I blocked it off in weeks leading up to this. So then when I got up to this one here, like I think I took like 600 or 625 like for a ride, like beltless with nothing on, like just completely naked. And I did that because I'm like, okay, if I can just move this really quick, the moment I throw like my belt on and like, the knee wraps and stuff, I should be pretty much in the money. And I was just feeling really good that day. I'm like, all right, we're going to go up to 800. And I just remember looking at the bar and I'm like, I met Ronnie Coleman back in 2003 after he just won the Olympia when I was like 18 years old. And I watched his videos and I'm like, I'm going to do that one day when he was squatting 800. And I was just like, man, I'm going to do this. But when I was doing this set here, there was nothing going on upstairs. Like I was just like in a void. Like I felt like I wasn't even like in my own body, like just off the reservation. And I just went down and just went right up. And then I was like, oh shit, I just did that.
It's interesting you say the void. I don't know if you ever listened to Table Talk with Dave Tate.
No, I have not.
But he talks about the void all the time as the place that he goes, or he went when he was competitively powerlifting. This place of just nothing going on mentally, just being just there. It's just a void, right? So that's interesting that you said you just you hadn't listened to it. You called it the void as well.
I wish I could go to that place every time. I can't do it. Like I call it like the utopian zone. It's when like you're just like you're super clear minded. There's just nothing going on. It's just like a void, but like the weight feels light. Like everything just clicks. Everything just goes perfect. It's like I've worked out very angry. That's anger is a pretty good emotion to train, but you're not always cognitively thinking and alert. I had one of the best leg workouts when one of my cats died last year. And that was when I'm like, wow, sorrow is a pretty strong emotion. I thought that was stronger than the anger because it's just like,
absolutely.
You're lifting so hard just to kind of mask the pain that you're going through. And then, but like when you get into that one zone, like this, sometimes I'll hit that zone while doing an actual set. And it's funny because like my eyes will close and I'll just keep going. You'd think I'd be done. And then there'll be like 5, 6, 7 more reps that come on to me. And then I'll just be like, whoa.
Yep. Isn't it weird how like at points in our career the driving factor behind training changed? So like when I first started, right, it was excitement. It was just pure excitement that fueled everything. And then the second phase was probably an anger phase where I used anger a lot. And then I guess now in my third phase, it's just a dialed in focus of like getting the job done as efficiently as possible with maximum effort. But I don't train with anger anymore. I don't train with this like chip on my shoulder, just pissed off at the world.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be times where I'm training. There'll be some kids in the gym that'll set up like 3 tripods. And then I'm just like, oh, you mother, like there was another time too. I was training. There was some kid. There was like a 150-pound kid with like a film crew in there, and the guy filming literally walked up and backed up into me while I was doing a set, and I like lost it. And then that just carried me through the rest of my work. I was just like seeing red. I was just in like straight berserker mode, just going nuts. But now,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say now, like we said, it's just like such a refined focus, and it's more like it's just like it's part of my work day. It's part of my day. Like if I need to train, and you go in there, and it's just like now I still try to challenge myself. It's like, okay, like what can I do better this time? What can I do better this time? I still have a crazy amount of love and passion. Like even when kids in the gym are like hitting PRs and stuff, like young kids, like they bench 225 for the first time, I'll walk up and be like, dude, that was awesome. And that fires me up because I remember when I was that age and I was like, yeah, I benched 60-pound dumbbells for 10 on incline. Like I'm getting strong,
Yeah. And, that reinforcement for somebody like you, that can change a kid's, whole perception and push him to the next level. Like, sometimes I think we forget that like we are big dudes that do some crazy ass shit, even though to us, it's like we're always comparing to the next level up. Like I don't know, for a 15-year-old kid in the gym for the first time trying to get strong, seeing you squat 800 solid ass pounds is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
When I first started training when I was 17 years old, I was 120 pounds. And this is kind of where I get my whole mentality of sort of paying it forward and stuff. So I grew up in a town called Rockland, it's on the South Shore, and there was this gym called All Sports Gym, and this gym had Mike Quinn used to train there a long time ago. Billy Blanks used to train there. The guy that created Tybo. There's a guy named Sean Dempsey who is a powerlifter that squatted one of the first people to squat 900 pounds, and his heart exploded after he finished the squat and he died on the platform. And then this old guy named Saul Shockett used to be one of the owners of this gym, and he's broken more than 60 something records in his life. He's an elite level natural power lifter, just crazy. And this gym had no heat. It had no AC. You'd have like these big industrial fans that blew. You'd have space heaters that you pull around. Like you could see your breath in there when it's cold out. And it was a very like just blue collar gym. Like you had tons of like laborers in there. Like there was this dude that would come in. He worked a jackhammer. He'd just come in like in jeans and work boots, just put 405 on the bench, no warm up, and just start repping it out. And these guys all would see how, like, me trying to train, that all helped me and, get me excited and took me in almost as one of their own. So that was really cool being that young and having all these big guys that were like, oh, hey, you're doing good. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. And I had a lot of good people back then that were really showing support. So when I see kids doing that, it's like, I remember what that was like for me. And I'm like, I want to do the same thing for them,
100%.
I feel like so many bodybuilders now, no matter what category they're in, have gotten away from that shit. You know what I mean? They're just like, they're cocky, they're arrogant. They don't try and like hype up the younger crowd to like try and get them in that, like that realm that, the three of us have been in for years. You know what I mean? Like we've all been to that point. You know what I mean? We've all built ourselves up. So it's just like, it's sad to see some of these other guys just like shit on them.
I think social media kind of plays like a double-edged sword with this, because social media, like, you can network with a lot of people and stuff, but then you have like some of these people that just like, they're like, oh, I've got so many followers, and they just think they're awesome, and they're just like, they all walk in, like some of like the fitness girls will walk in that do wellness that got like, third call out at a national show. They come walking in thinking they're so good, or, these dudes that they've got a little bit of an ego because they got some kind of notoriety on social media, and they just think that, because of that, they're entitled to everything in the gym. And I don't get behind that. It's like, I remember where I came from, and I'm sure these guys all came from a certain degree of the same thing that we all started as well. It's just interesting to see how some people get a little bit of fame and notoriety and they go one path, and then there's other people like us that kind of go this way, where we're still trying to, like, be nice to everyone. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all trying to grow and better ourselves one way or another. I mean, some people are in the gym training because they were heavy in high school or heavy, and they're trying to lose some weight. Other people are just, maybe they have like a degenerative nerve disease and they're just trying to create stimulation. Other people are in there running marathons and training cardio because they just like to get that runner's high when they're on a treadmill or something,
Exactly. You know what's been bothering me lately? I mean, I guess it's bothered me for a couple of years, and I'm going to speak on it, is the legends in our sport and just kind of the way they talk about this new generation. I just like, and I'm not saying all of them, but there are select few, man, that just, the 90s will always be the only time in bodybuilding that ever mattered. And nobody will ever be as good as them, and bodybuilding will never be as good as that. And, if you don't ever step on the Olympia stage, you're a trash bodybuilder. Like, it's that mentality at this point. Like, when I hear that type of stuff, it's so unfortunate, because there's some of these guys that I looked up to coming up to this, and now it's like, bro, I wouldn't shake your hand if I brush past you in Expo. Like, I wouldn't even look your direction at this point.
I agree.
I don't understand why it's not the older generation always trying to lift up the younger generation. I will just never understand that.
Sometimes
I think that's
sorry, go ahead, bud.
No, I was just saying, I think that's just their mentality, because it's like that in all sports. I see basketball, football. I think that's just that generation. They just feel like, nobody else can one up them. You know what I'm saying? They also look at, things are a little bit different from the social media standpoint, where you do have the ability to kind of like, give yourself more exposure. They didn't have that, back in the 90s. They didn't have all these classes either. You know what I'm saying? I remember talking to Branch Warren about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you was bodybuilding, nothing else. You know what I'm saying?
And
So, I mean,
that's
I
what was
get
really
it.
cool about it too, because
Yeah.
it's like, if you were small and you were in a weight class, it's like you need to push yourself and grow in that weight class to be competitive. Now it's like, okay, I'm going to do men's physique, classic physique, and bodybuilding, and do all these crossovers and see, where I stand. Which, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just,
No,
I was
because
competing
the
with
sport
people.
evolved. Because
Yeah.
the sport evolved. You know what I'm saying? I mean, evolution is a part of everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's cool that with these new divisions, I definitely feel, Mike, I don't like the hating. You know what I'm saying? And, when it comes from a malicious place of, you guys will never be better than us. And it's like, well, I mean, it's all opinion at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And those guys are gonna, if you ask me, those are the old bitter guys. I ain't gonna be one of those guys, in the sport, giving back and talking about the younger generation. I want to help the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? I want to help those that are behind us to not bang their head like we banged our head. You know what I'm saying? Do it much smarter. You know what I'm saying? Because what we do as bodybuilding, we know it's not healthy per se, because having low body fat isn't healthy. You know what I'm saying? We do that for the stage look, but that's what makes it extreme. Just funny about this yesterday. It's like they want to take the extreme portion out of bodybuilding. That's what it is. It's an extreme sport, you know?
At the end of the day, though, the bodybuilding organization, at BBNPC, it's a business, and the business is still trying to make money. That's the whole point of it. So, they're like, okay, how can we increase business? How can we increase exposure? And, I would say bodybuilding is a lot more when I say bodybuilding, all the classes for women and men, I feel like that has become much more mainstream now than it has been. I mean, granted, bodybuilding in the 90s used to be on like ESPN. They had like that, there was that one workout show I watched a few times when I was young. It was like Saturday. It was like Kevin Levrone and Sean Ray. They're wearing like those like
those
striped
spandex
onesies,
leotards.
I mean, that was cool. I think it was like Jaguar or something like that made those, and I mean, that was cool. But now it's like you've got more shows than ever before. Prize money has been increased. I wish they would make the prize money a little more fair for like the women, and also like the 212 and the men's classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think they're working towards that. Plus they just added the new fit model division, which I wish they would just call that like classic bikini, because that's what they look like when bikini first came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would make more sense. I like that name way better than fit model.
Yeah, and then my fiance is she's a women's physique pro. She won 2018 USA overall for women's physique, and over the years, women's physique have gotten very big. That one time when women's bodybuilding, they kind of got rid of it. You had these girls that were huge that kind of had a downsize, and it sort of messed with the criteria. I felt like I would love to see like a classic women's physique class where it went by height and weight. Where it had the thinner, really ripped, feminine look. Then you had like women's physique, which a little more, more conditioned, bigger. Then you got women's bodybuilding. Because that way it creates a class for almost everybody. And it's like some people, they don't want to look like, like Hottie, or like Derek Lunsford and stuff. They want to look like, like Jeremy Bundia or some of the guys that are in men's physique or something like that, which, overall, that's still good too, because it creates a mass appeal, for the sport.
Yep. No, I don't disagree. So what's next for you? What's up in 2025?
I'm getting married.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. September 13th is when we get married. So, I won't be ever. I was a heavyweight in 2023 at nationals, and then I was a light heavy this year. I'm not ever going to be a light heavy again. So with the feedback the judges told me, I need to grow a little bit. So I think I'm taking this whole year off just to grow, make necessary improvements in all the right areas, and then I will start prep again in 2026. We decided to do that too, just because I got a lot of stuff going on this year. We got to finish paying for our wedding, and just a little bit of travel stuff. So it just doesn't make sense. I don't want to be like stressing for a show. And I know with the whole wedding coming up and all that stuff, we have a lot of family coming and everything. I just want to focus on that and just focus on growing and improving.
Yeah, you want to enjoy that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to enjoy that. Weddings are stressful as hell. I couldn't imagine having my wedding. Well, I had my wedding after my bodybuilding show. So that was actually the first show that I did, ironically, 10 years ago. I got married 10 years ago in June.
That's awesome.
And it was interesting because I was able to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was able to enjoy my wedding because the show was like a month before and I looked incredible. You know what I mean? But that was just my first show. I couldn't imagine trying to go for my pro card. You know what I'm saying? And planning a wedding. No. Mm-mm.
Especially once I start getting to those new territories where conditioning is like I'm like practically useless.
Yeah.
Like a walking zombie at that point.
Are you guys able to like in prep like so like I can do like a day where me and Shay will go out and do something. Like I'm good for packing my meals for the day, but I get so much anxiety if I'm going to be gone longer than a day. I don't do well in prep away from my normal home routine more than like 12 hours. Are you guys able to like do a weekend away and like feel like you hit everything perfect?
Yeah, as long as I got my meals. Yeah, as long as I got my
fiance
good.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was going to say my fiance is very good at doing that. Like when she was dieting for the Tampa Pro Show in 2020, and she flew out from Texas to see me a couple times while in prep and everything going on. Me, I was telling you earlier, I'm like, I like to live like a goddamn hermit. But I mean, like there's days where like if it's a rest day, like I'll pack all my meals and I'll go out and do stuff. Like we were in prep. I was in prep this year, and Ashlyn's parents came from Texas, so like we took them to Salem and we walked around Salem and stuff. I actually got kicked out of a restaurant because I tried to eat my food in there, and they kicked me out. That was
wow.
But yeah. But I mean, yeah, like I have no problem. There's like stuff I can do. We'll go out and do stuff and whatnot. So
I think if it's a weekend, thing, it's fine. You can't go on you can't go anything more than probably 2 or 3 days, or you're gonna your anxiety's just gonna go through the fucking roof.
Dude,
no matter
goes
what.
Through the roof. If I'm not on the elliptical and Stairmaster, I get anxiety. Like I need my elliptical on the left, and I need my all the way on the right Stairmaster.
Because you start overthinking, and then your thought process is, if I step on stage, is this going to be the reason why like things weren't successful, even though it was 10 weeks out? So you start fucking wrapping your brain around that, and it just starts spinning, and you just fucking derail really quick. So it just
and I'm notorious for doing that, because like I will create like 70 different scenarios in my head that none of them have happened yet, and I will just drive myself nuts. I mean, 2022 and 2023, I coached myself, and like, especially going to the national stage, coach myself. I'm just like, I can't fucking do this at this level, and that's why, like, I started work with Justin Jacoby all last year, so I could just not think.
I remember talking to you right after nationals, and you're like, yeah, I can't do this.
Yeah. Local regional shows I can do. National level is a whole different animal, because like I just, how many times have we looked at our pictures when we're like a couple weeks out and we're like, I look like shit. Then like post show, you look at it and you're like, damn, I was peeled here. You know what I mean? Like I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I look like crap. 2 hours later, I look great. Oh, Blake, what's up, man?
What's up, bro? How are you,
How are
man?
you, dude?
Good, man. I saw that you were going to be on here. I said, well, shit, I got to make it.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, Blake's awesome. I love this dude.
Bro, your picks, I don't know what the hell you did this prep, man, but fucking good job. You look
Dude,
fucking
thanks,
good,
man. Thank you. I got a lot, you know, it was great. Like I got a lot of good praise. Like Beef Stew came up to me after prejudging and was like, oh man, like you looked phenomenal. Like, sorry the judges didn't see it that way. You know, like Jose Raymond gave me a call, you know, and he was just like, dude, you looked phenomenal up there. So it was cool. It was a version of me that I think a lot of people have been waiting to see. And I really just, I have a good coach. And I didn't have to think at all what I was just saying, and I could just focus on just executing everything day in, day out.
You were a light heavy?
Yeah, I sucked down to I was a 196 for weigh-ins and about 202 on stage.
Bro, those fucking the problem with the light heavies are those bastards look nasty. They're just smaller, but they're always shaped like fucking insane. They're literally just if you see a good light heavy, you're like, oh, he's definitely a super. If you don't know how tall he is, and they just thick. The top light heavyweights are nasty always. They're always like the nastiest class.
And like that was like my feedback. They said like, you know, my waist was a little athletic. I have an athletic waist, and that was kind of like what kept me out of the first call out. Even though like my conditioning was damn good, thickness and muscle density was really good. So I mean, I brought my absolute all-time best, and I'm very proud of that. So now it's just like, and the cool thing about me is every time I get my ass kicked on stage, I love it in a way because it just fuels me to improve. Like from what I looked like from 2022 to 2023, and then 2023 to this last year, it's just like leapfrogging, you know. Yeah. So.
Hey, and I mean, honestly, you show up next show with that stash, they're not going to turn you down. I promise you. They can't turn down that stash, bro. You can't all pull it off like that. I mean, that's.
I did this, Ashland's brother was telling me to do the stash, and then Justin O'Donnell was like, you should do it. So then I shaved the beard one night and I put this in. I came out and, my fiance is like, shave it the fuck off. I don't even want to look at you.
That's the same thing happened to me. When I shaved my beard off, I kept that and I was like, I'm not letting anybody see this. Like, I don't know, Mike was I'm looking at you right now, Michael, and I'm just trying to think. So you look like Mr. How do you look like Mr. T with this right here? Just with that,
during the pandemic, I thought it would be funny to just do the mustache and mutton chops. So I did it, and bro, I have the picture saved on my phone. Most embarrassing shit ever. As soon as I did it, I completely regret it. I look like Carl Winslow. Like it was wild, bro.
I don't know how it looked, but if you look anything like Carl Winslow, it's best you don't just stay with the stash.
Yeah, and then the memes that people were putting up on you, Chris, were fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, that one with my head in the van, and it was like it said like free Trent or something like that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, that was wicked good.
That's awesome. It looks like Mike and Doug, are they both frozen?
Mike's definitely frozen.
Okay, Doug, I think you were frozen for a minute. Uh-oh, there it goes again.
I can see everyone's.
I don't know why I'm going crazy in my room.
Me. It was just me.
Mike's definitely frozen.
How many light heavies was there at Nationals?
I think 35 or 38.
That first place guy. Anybody know who that cat was before he showed up?
I knew who he was. It was Cameron Sheik's client, Julian Sanchez.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of knew he was like one of the ones to watch. I mean, he looked really good. It was interesting because I stood next to him like at one of the gyms and stuff, and I'm like, okay, like I'm bigger than him. But I mean, when you got up on stage on the lights, like, his shape was really good. He had a tiny, he had like a classic physique competitor waist. All those top guys did for the most part.
I love what you said. I love what you said because, I mean, when you think about it at the end of the day, it's bodybuilding. And I always tell people you can be bigger, smaller. There ain't no weights on stage. It's how you look standing next to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's always interesting when like we harp on like numbers and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I remember Gary Udit was one of the first persons to tell me to stop worrying about the scale. He's like, how do you look in the mirror? You know what I'm saying? He like, because he first person to tell me, he was like, after weigh-ins, it don't matter. You're really just making a weight cap. You know what I'm saying? So whatever weight you're at, you need to look good. You know what I'm saying? And that's the tricky part in bodybuilding sometimes. Because I know, like I heard you say you ain't doing light heavy again. When I won my pro card, if I didn't win my pro card that year, there was no way I was going to try to do light heavy. I was going to have to move up into the heavies because I felt like I was going to die trying to suck down. It was so hard to get under 198. You know what I mean?
But Chris, you weren't flat. Like you weren't like flat as light heavy. You were full and you were in shape. Like
the
dude that won was not hard. I mean, he's cartoonish. I mean, it's hard. It's gonna be hard to beat some guy that shows up and just an absolute cartoon like him.
Yeah.
Like, what was unfortunate too, it depends on like, who else shows up. Like, Tyler would, being the head judge, like a lot of those top guys had like the classic physique type waist, tinier waists and stuff like that. They didn't have the biggest legs or the biggest back, but that was like that look, I mean, I think if people showed up with like a little more of a freak factor in the form of like muscle size and densities, I think, maybe it would have went a different way, but the judges can only judge like who's in front of them. And it comes down to like who has the least amount of weak points,
I feel like you would have been. I feel like when we talked about it and I saw you, I feel like you would have been judged differently had Steve been was.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I think
you would have been top 3 in my eyes if Steve was judging that show.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too.
How many total guys were in the light heavy?
I think it was over 35. I want to say it was like 35 or 38, and I think like 30 or 32 guys. Like everyone showed up in shape. Even the previous year in 2023, there was 48 light heavies. But this year was a much deeper class.
Did y'all when they put you in class, or excuse me, when they put you in call outs, did they bring you up and do a front double, rear double, and then take you off to the side before they put you in?
Yep.
So was it just front double, rear double?
It was front relax, all your quarter turns, front double, rear double, and then they brought that was a numerical group. Then they brought us off stage.
Yeah.
And then we did our 30-second individual presentation round, which I hit all my strong shots. And then my posing was great. I was told my posing was great. And then they bring us all out afterwards, and in my head, I had a few people that I thought were going to be first call out, which was including myself. And then like Cameron Sheik's client, Kyle Davis, he has a really good physique. I figured he would have been in first call out. James Kelly, who got third the previous year in light heavyweights, I figured he would have been in first call out. I figured myself would be in there. And then Chris Tuttle's client, who ended up getting third this year, I figured he would be out there too. And then Julian, I figured would be in there.
It's just so hard, bro, for them to like when they just look at a front and rear double. I mean, yeah, the quarter turns, but like, and I can speak for myself when I did nationals last. Those are not my good poses. Those are by far my worst poses, right? Like rear double, definitely. And so if those are your 2 weaker poses, like you brought your rear double up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. You're harder from the back, but your back looks bigger. Your every posterior from your lower, everything is just you brought up. And unfortunately, when you face some of these cartoons that are their front doubles always look stupid. It's like that's their pose that you're just like, God, what am I gonna do here? And then you're like fighting to battle back because I know you like some. I mean, your side poses are you're thick from the side. Those are my favorite poses too. And it's like now you're showing these off, but you're trying to battle back because all they got to see was your front and rear double, and you're already behind now. So now you're like, all right, let me try to climb to the first call out. And it's just, man, I know it's a business, but it's like there's so many people in these shows they can't even get. You know what I mean? There's all these poses count for a reason, and it's like it almost seems like now side chest, side tricep, rear lat spread, the front lat spread, like almost like these poses don't weigh as heavy as some of the other ones, which is a little crazy. Like, why quarter turns and front double, rear double? Like why specifically that? It's just unfortunate that some people have those are some of their worst poses. and some of their side poses are so thick that they get screwed, and they're having to climb out of a hole from the jump. And it's like, that's unfortunate because bodybuilding is not front double, rear double. You know, obviously those are important poses, but
that's the shitty part too. Is you're trying to look at 35 fucking guys. That's tough.
Well, yeah, and I get it. Like I said, it's a business, but like, I don't know about y'all, but I don't give a fuck about their business. I'm doing it for me. You know, we're busting our ass, we're suffering and all this stuff, and it's like, I don't care if you're trying to rush me through. No, I dieted, I busted my ass, I paid my fees. Like, I should hit every pose, and you should watch me hit every pose. It's just, it's unfortunate, man. I hate it. I hate seeing some guys that have, you know, good physiques, but they're getting looked over. You know,
it was interesting. I was talking with Justin O'Donnell, and he was telling me when he did nationals a couple years ago, where he got like 13th, and he was just like, I easily should have been in the first call, and just, you know, wasn't.
Well, that was me and Justin did that.
That
show
was you
together.
too, yeah.
We like stood next to each other, and if it's funny because he sent me a picture. It was a side chest, and we're both like, our faces like.
I remember seeing those pictures.
We're like.
I remember seeing the pictures from that show too. I remember looking at you. I remember looking at Justin. There was one other guy, and I'm like, how are they here? And I'm like, how did that happen? You know?
Yeah, and I'm not one to like say like I'm the last one to be like, you know, I feel like I got fucked, this and that, and that's not that's not about me. It's not real. I just don't like it. It's you know how it is. People want to not place well, then want to blame the judges. I don't want to blame that. I just want it to be like, you know, guys that are doing everything that they're, you know, that they need to do to look good. Everything, you know, they're not cheating. They're coming in peeled. They're busting their ass. They're not doing some of this more new school stuff that feel like they don't need to do cardio. When some of them don't, but some of them do. You know, they come in peeled. I just feel like you need to get looked at, and it's tough, you know, especially like someone like you gets second call out. That is the definition of getting overlooked. Definition.
The way I view it is, I didn't have that much of a like, oh fuck, look when I went on stage. So, you know, I'll get that the next time. I think I'll do really well the next time I'm on stage. But I mean, it just adds more motivation and fuel to me. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was telling Brendan when I saw him at Impact, like after prejudging, like I just had like my tail between my legs. I went back to my hotel room and I just started fucking crying my eyes out. And I don't usually get emotional like that, but I mean, I was so upset, man. I was just like, man, I'm like, I friggin' brought this look. I sucked down a weight class because I was 210 on stage in 2023 as a heavyweight, and then I came in like the same size as I was on stage in 2023, just much better conditioning. And I'm like, okay. I thought for sure that this time I'm like, okay, I'll get it done, or you know, and it doesn't happen. But it's like you said, it's like everyone that gets on that stage like busts their ass. You know, they give everything to it. You know, and it sometimes when it's not your day and you just weren't good enough or whatever, it always sucks. But you know, afterwards, I was just like, I was peeled. My fucking glutes were striated all the way across. I'm like, you know what? I brought it. Now we know that I can get in shape. Now we just do the fun part. We start adding the muscle.
Well, that's the hard part about national shows too. Like Brendan said, is there's so many guys. Same thing kind of happened to me this year at USA's. I was like in the middle of the second call out, but when I walked out on stage, I didn't really have much of a wow factor either. And they kind of look right over you. And then once you're in that second call out, because there's 15, 25, 35 guys, it's hard to battle back, bro. Like once they kind of put you there, you're kind of there. You know what I mean? And that first impression is like everything at these shows because they got so many athletes to look at. So if you don't stand out like off the rip, then you're in a tough spot, you know, trying to work your way up. I think at nationals, in the supers, they did a lot of rejudging at finals, did they not?
Yeah,
right?
They did.
Which you don't usually see that at an amateur level. You don't usually see that. Kind of prejudging is kind of everything. And so it's tough, bro. Like if you don't have that kind of freak wow factor, or if they don't already know you, aren't like expecting you, it's hard to kind of battle your way into that first call out once they kind of, you know, throw you to the side, bro.
You know, that was another thing too. Like 2023, I kind of like posted a lot and was tagging all the things. And this time around, I want to just kind of go like I didn't post nearly as much as I did the previous year. And I just wanted to kind of keep. I just wanted to keep my head down. You know, Dorian Yates is my favorite bodybuilder. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna like just show up. You know, but I feel like I feel like I should have promoted myself a little more and just kind of played the game, I guess.
Yeah, that's a sad reality of what it is now, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. I hate playing that game. I'm back, by the way. I don't know what the fuck that was. The shit like disappeared. I had to get Shane here to fix the computer because I don't even know how to restart it. And then the video, whatever webcam wasn't working, so now I'm using the other cam. But I don't know what I was gonna say. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
We were just talking about
fucking podcast.
Yeah, bodybuilding's a crapshoot.
Yeah,
It's a crapshoot at the end of the day. Regardless of what changes you make, there still really is no guarantee you're gonna make a first call out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
bro, that's why.
And that's it. It does suck, like you say. You know, when I hear you guys and I talk about you guys' experience, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's one of the things I was so fearful of when I got into it. Right? It's a subjective sport. You're gonna come in looking your best, and you gotta hope that the judges feel the same way. And I've been in a situation where I'm battling for 1 and 2 as an amateur, and there's, the judges are split. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they're nitpicking. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember when I took second, and that shit stung like fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I was coming off of an overall victory a month before, so I'm feeling good about this one. And then that just killed my hopes of trying to do it.
That's why I say this shit all the time. If you marry like your success in bodybuilding to your placings, you're fucked, because you bring the same physique on the same day, everything the same, and you swap out that panel of judges for a different panel of judges, and you could place higher.
You just literally stole the words right out of my mouth. That's
bro,
the one thing
that
pisses
all
me
the
off.
time. Yeah,
there's no consistency in when it comes to the nationals. There's fucking no consistency on what judges are there. They need to have the same fucking judging panel at every national show.
I agree with that.
Consistent about the feedback they're giving all their fucking athletes.
But I think it's got even worse on the regional level, bro. Like, there are some shows I see on the regional level where the judging's just straight up lazy. Like, they don't pay some of these. Sometimes it's on the regional level. It can be obvious. Like, you get a guy who's qualifying for a national show and he kind of walks in, like, it's obvious. But I mean, like, I know Blake has seen pictures. There was a show I did in 2022 where, like, I don't like to be that guy that's like, oh, I got robbed or whatever. But like, I didn't even say that. I kind of just posted pictures and let people talk. I swear, you pick a different panel of judges on that day, I would have won that show like 9 times out of 10. It was just that one day those judges somehow went with the other guy. And that shit, like Doug said, that shit fuck with me, because that was supposed to be my overall. That was supposed to be my step to nationals. You know what I mean?
So when I did the Van City Pro last year, and it's the first time I've ever spoken on it. I remember when they called me for 5th place. I remember the crowd going, "What?"
Dude, that's what happened in New York.
I know that feeling. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, I'm like 5th. I ain't even say.
No.
That's great.
Guess that story's over.
That's great. That's wild, bro.
You just got booted out of the chat room.
Connections.
Bro, y'all gotta get your shit together, bro. No, but that literal same thing happened to me. There you go. You want to finish, Doug?
We're all having issues. No, but that shit. I never said nothing about it, but there were a lot of people that felt like I should have had a better placing than that. And I never posted it or anything, but I put my most muscular next to the guy's most muscular who won. You can't tell me I didn't look better than
that was the one that bowled, right?
No, I did the Van City Pro in 20. I did that last year. This guy from Canada won. He was one of those guys that had like 300-something thousand followers on Instagram and had a nice little following. You know, I ain't gonna take away from his win, but I'm like, different judges. I feel like I win that.
Yeah.
So I
But like
definitely feel you on
that was a similar type of thing with me. Was when they called the other guy for the overall, the whole place was like, what? Because people were already in between prejudging and finals. People were already asking me like, oh, is this your qualifier for nationals? Blah blah blah. I was like, no, I'm gonna take the year off. But that was, we all think we suck, bro. Like I think I'm trash, but like I get people's feedback and I take that, for what it is, right? And so that was what made me think I had it in the bag, was because everyone was like, oh yeah, it's over. So when they called me for second, I like double checked my fucking medal and shit. I was like, is this for real? But the worst thing is I hate being that guy that's like, oh, I got fucking robbed. And I didn't want to say that. So like, I was just like, what? I was like, am I that bad, bro? Because it was like some fucking 30-something-year-old dude who's like, he just had an ugly physique, to be honest with you. And I was like, this guy's beating me? I was like, this guy's fucking beating me, bro? Like, I was like, what am I doing? And it fucked with me. And I didn't want to be that guy that's bitching and complaining about the judges and I got robbed and bought. Because you see so many chumps that do that and they lost. And they're just bitching and moaning.
Facts. I agree.
So I didn't want to be one of those guys. So like I was talking to Blue about it backstage afterwards. He was like, bro, you don't have to. He's like, just post the pictures and then let people say that. So that's all I did. I just posted the pictures. I didn't say a word. And then the comments started to blow up.
I was backstage at this year's Nationals, and Guy Sistonino is a very close friend of mine.
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, like hit some poses. And I hit some poses like, dude, he's like, you look fucking nuts. He's like, I think you're going to have a good day. And then he was doing something with some clients. And after prejudging, he calls me and he's like, so how bad did you kick everyone's ass on stage? I'm like, bro, I got second call out. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck were they looking at? But it is what it is. I'll never complain about the placings like that because I think it's just unsportsmanlike. And like, I'm not a pro. I try to carry myself like one. I always try to, and be realistic and stuff. But just
I agree
a little bit for sure.
I agree.
Because we're not all of us go into a show thinking we can win. It's not like we're training for second place or third place. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when I did the Long Island show 3 weeks prior, like I'm like, okay, like I have a good chance of winning this overall. Like I'm gonna like have so much fun. Then my buddy Danny, he's like, yeah, Gio is competing in that show, and I'm just like, fuck. I remember messaging my coach. I'm like, yeah, Giovanni's competing, and he's like, I thought he already qualified. I'm like, nope. I go, he looks nasty. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna beat him.
He's a big motherfucker, bro.
Yeah.
Nice kid too. He looked great. I'm glad he turned pro at Nationals. I think it was well deserved for him. So
I felt the same thing whenever me and Mike, when we were going against Justin Shire, I was like, all right, well, we're gonna give him hell. We knew he was gonna show up, and like he looks sick. His shape is nasty, right? He's just, and this was
crazy shape.
Yeah, it's just like that's not everyone knows he's not an amateur. He was just hadn't turned pro yet, right? And it was like everyone knew he was winning this show. And then in the supers, we got Carlos Thomas Jr. Like no one what like I felt bad, worse for the supers. I'm like, Nate Spear ended up second, and he beat Matt. What's his last name? Matt
Berzicott?
Yes. I guess he's retired. But when I saw that, I was like, no, that dude's physique is great. Like, I don't see why if he would have done nationals the next year, why he wouldn't have turned pro. Like, and then and then Nate ended up turning pro with Carlos. But no disrespect to Nate or anybody else, but Carlos was by himself in that show in all weight classes. I mean, he just looked. I mean, we know what he looks like now. Shit.
That's what makes bodybuilding so interesting, man, because like Chris said earlier, it all depends on who shows up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes some people are going to show up, and then sometimes even when somebody does show up, like you said, somebody plays second or third, you're like, fuck, like they could have won if that person didn't show up, and then they might retire or they might. You know what I mean? It's like it's hard to stay consistent at that high level for so long. You know what I'm saying? And most people don't really understand that. Like people think what we make it look easy. We make this shit look easy. Everybody thinks it's easy, but they don't really understand the mentality that goes into it too. Because you have to have. I mean, I always say you got to be a little crazy to be a bodybuilder. Like I just don't see how you're not. Like you just don't have all your screws upstairs.
Nah,
You
none
know
of
what I'm
us are
saying?
normal people, bro.
You know, not at
None of
all.
us.
And you got to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? Because to do this, that's why I say this is my 10th year. To do this shit long, you gotta love this shit. I don't know how you can do this and not like it if you put years in and dedication. You know what I'm saying? Because even sometimes it wears at you. You know what I mean? Like I have my moments and my days where I'm like, why do I do this? I don't have to fucking do this shit. Like I could
All
just
the
be
time.
regular.
I say that shit once a day.
It's
Oh
Say
yeah,
once
once
a
a
day.
day
It'd
at
probably be
least.
worse
Once a day
for
at
even
least.
like the top pros. I mean, we're talking about as an amateur going into nationals, knowing that there's one heavy hitter in the lineup, and there's no way we're gonna beat him unless he comes off. Imagine going into Olympia, knowing that your best placing is like best case is 10th. Doug's like, it's like you're like, I got 10 cats in front of me that don't even have to die if they're going to beat me. I couldn't imagine having that mindset and then going to train for the Olympia.
So I
And
was
like
gonna say that
subconsciously, you don't train as hard
that's
because you're like,
that's been the difference in my first show was the Toronto. It was like a tier 2 show. You know what I'm saying? Was there and the one guy from Canada. But when I got to the Olympia, bro, and I seen all the 212 winners, all the open winners, and the classic guys, no camera, no video in person, that was when I was like, oh, there's another level. I'm not there. I made it. Thank God I won that show, but there's a whole another level once you become a pro, dog. Like I said, when I seen a king holding a microwave like a loaf of bread because he was taking it to his room. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at how big some of these guys are in person, and I'm just like, how is that humanly possible? You know what I'm saying? And then, it's like we about to see that lineup at the Arnold. Like, come on, bruh.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a crazy fucking lineup. I want to see how it's gonna go.
I remember when I did the Tampa Pro Am show in 2022, and I was backstage when Kamal and Andrew Jacked and stuff were backstage, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, God damn, I gotta train
I
harder.
seen
Eat an
Kamal in
extra piece of
person.
chicken or something.
I seen Kamal in person. He was 50. I said, dog, how the fuck do you look like that at 50, bro? Like,
Well,
I'm
even
like,
Dexter Jackson
bro,
was looking ridiculous,
bro.
up into his 40s. I mean, seeing guys like that gives me a lot of hope because I'm 40 years old. Like I turned 40 2 days before I was on stage at Nationals. So I'm like, I'm gonna give these young bucks a run,
Sound like me. That's how I was when I got my pro card. I didn't have to do the open when I won my pro card. I did it because I paid for that shit. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm already a pro, so I ain't got shit to lose. And then I went up light heavyweight open. I couldn't believe that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's like the levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, where you're at, like at the national show. I always tell people, man, your goal should always be to make the first call out. And if you don't, it's not a bad thing because sometimes things like that do happen. Sometimes you can't get overlooked. You know what I'm saying? Like there do be a lot of people there. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, like, you gotta love this shit. Like, I love talking about Sean Clarita, and I'm glad that I even got to meet him. Like, he was
Oh, I
a
love
great
Sean. He's
inspiration
awesome.
for me. Yeah, because I when I got into bodybuilding, I used to watch a lot of his stuff, and he talked about, because he turned pro as one of the little, like, a welterweight. You know what I'm saying? And people legitimately told him he would never win a bodybuilding show. Like, why do you do this? And it's like, because I like doing it, and I don't give a fuck what you think. You know what I mean? Remember when Kevin Levrone asked Ronnie before he won his Olympia, like, dude, why do you keep doing this? You keep traveling and you know what I mean? And Ronnie's like, I like it, dog. Like, and I feel the same way for me. Like, I like it. I think it's cool that, first of all, I look better than 97% of America. You understand what I'm saying? When I go out You know what I mean? That makes me feel good. And I can travel and do bodybuilding competitions and experience different cities, different cultures, different everything. I feel like for me, that is dope. And if I win a bodybuilding show, that's even more awesome. You know what I'm saying?
You know, my mindset on a lot of this stuff is it's like if you keep improving, you keep showing up, you keep beating your previous bests, the wins are eventually going to come.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
that's just my thing. Like,
let's not just skip over that Doug just said that Kevin Leroy saw Ronnie Coleman and told him, "Why are you still competing?" And meanwhile, he was still placing like 10th at the Olympia, but he's telling Ronnie Coleman that the 10th best bodybuilder in the world, yo, bro, you're not going to win. You should retire. You're only 10th in the world. You're not very good. We're over here scratching for a pro card. Yeah, we got Kevin, one of the best bodies of all time, telling the other best bodybuilder of all time, I think you should retire because you ain't that fucking good, bro.
But just think of how
Over here,
funny
like,
it
yes,
was.
made first call out at a regional show. It's really making me think, like, man, do I have other hobbies that I could like really pursue? Because I think this is not for me.
You're funny as hell.
I don't know. Makes you think.
I was telling one of my friends the other day, I think whenever I like give up bodybuilding, I'm just going to go back to playing competitive table tennis because I used to do that. I used to play ping pong. No joke.
That's not easy. Shit, ping pong is hard as fuck.
It's so fast paced. That's why I like it. That's what I like.
Bro, anything's harder than stuff for you, Doug.
For that shit.
Fucking Doug.
Doug's like fucking 300 pounds, under 5'7". Of course, everything's harder for you.
Silly as hell.
Dude, walking's a sport at that point.
It is.
I mean, I'm 5'6". I got up to 265 once, and it wasn't pretty. And I like rolled out of bed like 3 times, and I'm like, I'm buying Velcro shoes. I was like going to go shopping for Velcro shoes. I'm like, fuck this. You bend over to tie your shoes over, blood rushes to your head.
Yeah, I know that feeling not being able to put your fucking socks on. Like,
I'm doing it right now, bro.
That's the
current. I have no shame. No shame. She puts my socks on for me every morning. She's such a good woman. She's such a good woman.
That's why I say you got to be crazy to do this shit. Because who the fuck else wants to go through this? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's retarded.
I would pay to see fucking Mike and fucking Luke put socks on right now.
Bro, I wear slides fucking everywhere. There's snow on the ground. I'm trucking through snow and slides. People are like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I ain't putting shoes on, bro.
We got a bunch of snow up here, you know. And here I am, like I'm going out with Crocs on, with snow coming through the holes. My feet are freezing.
I already broke a sweat and my heart rate hit 120 putting my socks on. I ain't putting shoes on too, bro. I ain't putting shoes on too.
I put socks on the other day, and I have to use one hand to do the opposite foot, and then if I get it far enough down, I grab the end of it. Bro, I ripped holes in the back of the heels of both socks.
Bro, all my socks have holes in the back of the heels. Bro, no bullshit. All my socks have holes in the same spot. No bullshit.
That's an invention.
Yeah, bro.
That's an invention. What?
Well,
I never heard of no shit like that.
Socks got a finger hole.
I never heard of no shit like that. That's funny as hell. He said
bro. I got that shit.
Yeah, and you gotta like reinforce the stitching so that way you can really pull on that to put your sock on. Otherwise, you gotta use that weird like plastic thing with the sock and the little loopy thing that pulls your sock on for you. F that.
Bodybuilding. There are a couple of fashion pages I follow, like gentleman fashion pages. And them dudes are so suave. Like, I want every outfit.
Bro, good luck, bro.
Nothing. I don't care if it's tailored. Shit looks silly on us.
Bro, you will look retarded, bro.
I don't care. Muscles don't look cool in suits. They don't. No,
I had to go to my grandfather's funeral this year, so I bought like a sport coat. It was my first time ever buying a sport coat, and I'm like putting it on. My arms don't fit in the damn thing. And I ended up wearing like a 52 regular, and the thing's like this friggin' big on me. I had to get the arms like tapered in because it looked
Bro,
the arms were like I have T-Rex arms, so there's about like 5 inches of fabric past my hands.
Yeah, we don't look good in suits because we look fat.
You look fat as fuck. Bro, you look like you're wearing a garbage bag on your shoulders.
Yeah. And then when you take your clothes off, everybody's like, they look at you like, huh?
Damn, Doug, you've been taking your clothes off too? Well, let me ask you this. In what situation are you wearing a suit then you take your clothes off, bro?
Fucking somebody tell me
show here.
Maybe a male stripper.
Tell me
I don't know.
the only ones that saw
your jacket off. Stupid as
hell. Dude, Doug, when I saw you in that fucking kitty-sized T-shirt the other day, I fucking pissed myself.
You know what they don't take into account when they're measuring though. One big thing is like your lats. So they'll measure when you're like this, and I have to tell them like when my arm goes up, my lat goes out. Like you can't keep it tight underneath my armpit like that.
Yeah, but my arm goes up, my lat goes
look, I've never in my life, I'm not that kind of person that like writes reviews and does any of that bullshit. I downloaded an app just to write a bad review on Men's Warehouse.
That's some next level petty shit right there.
Oh man, I go and buy a custom suit for my boy's wedding, right? And they make it. It takes weeks, and it comes in. I can't put the fucking pants on. Can't even put them on. And it's so bad I can't sit down. But the jacket is like, I'm like
that guy in little coat.
Yeah. And they change it 3 times and so does it fit. Like
I had a better.
I can put it on, but like I can't move.
Bro, it's the fucked up thing. Even if you want to drop a lot of money and get some nice clothes or something, they'll fit one time.
Yeah.
Then the next off season you're 50 pounds heavier or whatever, and then you diet again, and it never, bro. It fits good one time, so it's not even worth it, bro.
I don't know. Some of these pros, I've seen some of the pros wear like suits, like when they used to go to the Olympia, they would wear like back in the day, and they looked like even Nasser. It looked decent, right?
Yeah, but they were probably dropping stacks on that shit just for the Olympia.
Yeah, maybe so, but it is ridiculous. I've never seen. I don't know the last time I saw. Not even a bodybuilder, just a bigger dude wearing a suit that actually is fitted, looks good. Not even a suit, even a button-up, really.
I did pick out my suit for my wedding for this year. This guy named Christopher Kwozu, he makes a lot of suits for like big guys and like NFL players and stuff. And so like the fabric I picked is like it stretches in like all directions, and you can do full range squats in it. It's water resistant, stain resistant, and it's going to be tapered to like my physique. So I think that one will look pretty good. But like just like a standard suit off the rack with some basic tailoring at Men's Warehouse, it's just going to look like you're wearing a sheet.
Well, when's your wedding?
What?
When's your wedding?
September 13th.
Oh, just in time for you to get fat and it not to fit. I was saying if it's now, you'd be good.
Well, no. So I go back to see him in June for a fitting, and then a final fitting a month before. So it'll fit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, like I'll like buy clothes like preemptively. I'll buy clothes as a couple size up for when I'm heavier, and then I have like clothes that are like a couple size smaller for when I'm dieting. So at least I try to be smart ahead of time. At least grab clothes that that'll fit in all different seasons and stuff. Because weight fluctuates quite a bit. But like trying to buy nice clothes sucks.
It should, but there's too many cats nowadays that want to stay too much in shape for fucking Instagram and don't want to do what it takes to put on some weight to actually put on tissue.
Well, yeah, these guys were the ones that look the same every year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't weigh close to the same. Like, it's bad. I enjoy my off seasons,
You got to, it's like, we want to go out to dinner with friends and stuff and enjoy and whatnot. And, hit some sushi buffets.
I got to be the only bodybuilder that does not like sushi. I am not a sushi guy.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't for a long time until Blue forced me to like it, pretty much.
I tried it.
Oh, I'm looking forward to that shit then.
Yeah.
I'm not a fish guy.
He would give me like sushi refeeds and prep, and I was like, bro, can I have anything else? I fucking hate sushi. But like all of a sudden I started, bro, you're in prep, you start loving everything, bro. I started loving sushi and it just stuck.
You know the trick? Just tell them you're allergic to it. That's what I do.
That's what I've always done.
Now, for real, I am allergic to fish. But I'm not gonna lie, there's been one time that I told a coach I'm allergic to something because I don't want to eat that shit. And it was of the green variety. I might have told him I'm allergic to broccoli. I don't know if you can be allergic to broccoli, but he bought it. So you know what he switched it to? Some nastier shit. And I was
I about to say.
You can't hit him with you can't hit him with I'm allergic to that too. You know what I mean? Like,
I just straight up told my coach when I started working, I go, I will not eat fish. I don't give me fish. I won't fucking eat it. Like that's a non-negotiable.
I'm actually allergic to fish, so that's why I don't eat it. But
yeah, I just hate it. And unless it's like raw, like from sushi. Like I could eat like sashimi all day, but the moment it's cooked, I can't stand it.
Really? You'd rather eat
I'm the opposite. I can only eat. So the only fish I can eat is tilapia.
Oh,
I gotta cook that shit. I gotta cook that shit down till it's fucking nothing.
That's like equivalent of like shitting in your hand, throwing it on a skillet, cooking it up, and then eating it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. That sounds a little tastier than the tilapia. I might be able to get that down with a little Crystal Light. I don't know about tilapia.
Tilapia is a non-negotiable for me. That and pork. I don't eat
Bro,
pork.
you know if food is bad when there are literally signs on microwaves at places that say "Do not cook warm up fish in here."
Yeah,
like you know that means it's not going to be something you want to put in your mouth.
Oh no, I don't enjoy it. Don't get it twisted, bro. I never said I enjoy it. I said I get it down, but I don't enjoy
I'll do
that.
cod. I'll do cod.
No, I can't do cod. I can't do cod either.
Yeah, I'll do cod.
No
Luke,
fish.
Luke, can you do pizza with?
I can
Definitely
do pizza,
salmon.
You already know that. Yeah, you know I can do dessert pizza, bro.
Yeah, and definitely salmon. I fuck salmon up. I eat that shit every day.
Mm-hmm. I had one coach that had salmon on my plan. I just went and every single time I had to eat salmon, I would literally buy sashimi grade salmon and just eat it raw every single time. That was literally how I did it. Otherwise, I would never get it down. And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing this. Like, pick something.
Probably ran your bank account out though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I was just like, dude, pick something else. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Can you do shrimp? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll eat the shit out of shrimp.
Yeah, I can manage some shrimp.
Yeah.
Hey, me and change the subject, but I want to. Anybody know about what happened to Patrick with that fight?
I was just about to say that.
I mean, I saw the video. He dropped that dude, but I don't know what. Like he made a couple comments, but I don't like in his post and tagged a couple people, but I don't. There's not really anything that was said. I don't really know.
No, I looked at the comments that the other guy left, and apparently he's accusing Patrick of like not paying, his like fees for training at his gym and his clients and some stuff. I don't know. It seems messy.
Yeah,
so that was the gym owner he punched.
He's done it at a couple of gyms.
Oh, that was the gym owner?
I think it was the gym owner. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I don't even know who you're talking about or what happened.
Patrick.
Oh, you know Patrick Morris, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he dropped some dude. He dropped the gym owner. The gym owner ran at him in the parking lot, and Patrick just stepped back and just dropped him.
For that, there was like he like showed up to the gym apparently and was like running his mouth off about the gym owner, because the gym owner because he owed him. I saw some like text receipts or something. Patrick owed a bunch of money for training clients at his space that he wasn't paying, and so then Patrick since he didn't pay it, the dude basically blocked Patrick from being in the facility until he paid his rent, and so Patrick showed up to train some clients. They didn't let him in. Dude started running his mouth off, talking shit about the gym owner, and that's when the gym owner texted him. He was basically like, "You want to talk shit? What's up?" And that's why the second Patrick walked out in the parking lot, dude had his hands up ready to go.
And why would Patrick post that? I'm not posting that shit.
No
I don't
way.
know. I think he posted it because he was probably hyped that he slept the dude. But
that might cost you the Arnold. I'll tell you that much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that shit can turn legal. That shit can press charges. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some other things in there that I'm sure he don't want getting out either.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
did
saying?
Did anyone happen to see what the fuck he was wearing too? He was wearing the
Olympian
Olympia
jacket.
jacket.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It ain't a good look, bro.
That's crazy. I'm not getting in no fights 5 weeks out.
No.
First
Let
off,
me
I'm
tell
not
you.
getting in a fight at this age anyways,
Let me
but
tell
definitely
you.
not 5 weeks out.
You know,
Speaking from
honestly,
experience, it ain't fun.
but that looks with the video. You say, why did he post it? With that video, it looks like he's saying it was self-defense. I mean, the dude's running up on him. Like,
No, yeah, but there's a if you go to the guy's page, is he tagged there? No. I think his name is like, I don't know. I could find it. But that's where I saw all the other rest, like the longer form of this video. It was on that dude's stories. And like it didn't just start with him running up on Patrick.
yeah, but I'm saying that's why Patrick probably posted it like that.
I
to
know,
say,
I know,
"Look, this
Yeah.
was
I know.
self-defense."
And I'm wondering
they
why
were-
would Patrick even post that? Like, why the fuck would
Yeah.
you
Oh,
share
that's
that?
it. Wait, go to the next one.
No one
Yeah.
said he was smart.
It says, what's the guy's username? It says, oh no, that's Patrick shit.
Yeah, that's
Because that. All right, never mind.
Man, I wouldn't post this shit on my accounts
No.
ever. I wouldn't be talking
way.
about it.
No, that's
yeah,
fucking stupid.
You're asking for
Childish,
fucking
bro.
trouble.
It's just not a good
because
look.
that's
It's
what I'm
just
saying. Like,
childish.
because there's some other messages that I saw. Like I said, I'm sure he don't want getting out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it can turn into some legal shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I say, look, me speaking from experience, I got into an altercation 2 times in my last 2 preps. I pray to God I don't in this one. You know what I'm saying? But them was 2 dudes that had it coming for them. But it still ain't like you don't talk about that shit and put that shit on social media. You know what I'm saying?
You
Like
keep that to yourself,
yeah,
bro.
you handle that shit and then you let it go. You understand? Like, because that shit can get messy. It seems like it's gonna get messy. You know what I'm saying? Because you training people out of his gym, and there's other allegations and stuff going on too. And it's like, now you done punched this man. This is a gym owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're burning bridges. You know what I'm saying? You're messing up relationships. You don't know who that gym owner knows. You know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, that ain't worth it. I feel like something like that, you gotta talk that out. You know what I'm saying?
It's a bad look on him being. It's a bad look on him being a pro and being fucking invited to the Arnold too. I mean, like you'd figure like the IFBB is probably going to do something about it.
Yeah,
we'll see. I don't know if they will, but you know, it's still not a good look. I'm not posting that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sharing none of that on my social media account for no kind of clout purposes. You know what I'm saying?
That's stupid, bro.
5 weeks out, I don't have energy to barely have enough energy to wipe my ass properly, let alone get into a fight with someone.
He used to be a boxer though, so he can throw hands. You know what I'm saying? Like that was what he did before bodybuilding. I do know that. You know what I'm saying?
Which is a reason why, even more so, that you don't need to do that.
Exactly.
Like if you know like what your damage is going to do to this dude, he didn't. Here's the problem. He didn't just drop him and walk back. He jumped on top of him and started throwing. Like if it's about there's never been self-defense where you drop a guy and jump on top and start doing like.
And
look,
fucking mounted on him, bro. Like,
look, I'm not saying that I haven't done this before, but I'm saying if you have an Olympia jacket on, it's on video, which is because you're outside a gym, you're outside the gym. Cameras everywhere nowadays, so you can't do shit without somebody seeing it. It's like you can't do that, man. Like you just can't do that. You're in the spotlight. Any dude that plays in the NFL, the NBA, any pro, people want to know. They want drama. They're gonna start shit just to fuck with you. Who knows? Someone could have said something to him just to go fuck with him, to get him to punch him so he gets out of the Arnold or something. I don't know. You never know.
Trigili's about to go ham with this.
Oh yeah.
I said Trigili's about to go ham with this.
Bro, he tagged him.
Oh, he did?
Yes. He tagged him in it. He literally
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, if you look at that post, he literally put bodybuilding and BS on there.
No, that was the dude. That was the gym owner tagged him.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that was a screenshot of the dude's story. because I thought he did too. Because he also tagged Goob.
Yeah,
and
I
some
saw
other
that.
shit.
I thought that was Patrick that did that.
No, that was the gym owner because he was basically trying to. Because when you go to the gym owner stories, I was watching them this morning after I think Brendan, you sent it, right?
Yeah.
After Brendan sent it, I was like clicking through that shit, trying to kind of whatever. And he was the one that originally posted because he was basically trying to expose Patrick for being like more of a scumbag. So like that's why he was tagging those guys, I think. Yeah, Patrick. If Patrick was tagging those motherfuckers, he'd be even a bigger retard, bro.
Yeah.
Like that's just stupid.
I don't know how Patrick could do it, man. I mean, he had 15th place locked up, you know.
He's funny as hell.
Hey, I hate to say it, but that's a fact. It's not like he was gonna fucking win.
Look, y'all motherfuckers are laughing, but we all had our picks, and I don't see Patrick in any of y'all's top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he got a gift getting that invite, bro. He did.
Look, I've competed against Patrick before.
Oh, word?
And yeah, bro, like I think 2012 USA's.
Yeah.
Dude, even then, he was still the same shape. He's just a little smaller. When I saw him, I remember telling him, like, what is that? And he's like, what is what? I'm like, your chest. Why does it look like that? Why is it so big? Like, I've never seen a big chest like that. I'm like, are those real? Why are they so big? Like, I've never seen like his upper body and his arms was just it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, obviously his legs needed to come up, but the shape of him, I've never seen that.
That was really his only knock. That was his only knock was his legs, because his upper body was just so, like you said, he had a wow factor in his upper body.
Yeah, just walking around, you're just standing there. You're just like, why? You haven't seen shapes like that, like dimensions like that, just relaxed. It's a crazy thing to see, man. And then now he's one of the, like, let's be honest. I mean, I'm not knocking him. I'm not even a pro, but he's one of the worst pros up there, which is crazy because I saw him before and saw how crazy his physique was. And then he goes, and that's exactly what you were talking about, how there's a different level to this shit. You stand next to the worst pros in the world, and you're like, damn, what the fuck? And they go against the best pros in the world, and they're not even like on the same planet, these guys. It's just crazy, man. It's crazy to see like the difference.
Yeah, some of these pros too, they're just like one off season away just from dominating. You know,
Yeah,
just
Patrick,
crazy improvements.
Patrick had that one Olympia where he broke out and he was like 10th or whatever, and everyone was like, "Oh shit!" What was that, 2019 or something like that? And then he just like, bro, he was like, didn't he at one point he retired, I think, or wanted to do classics?
Because it's hard, man. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like,
he just started like he never put it together, bro. And he just honestly, I just it feels like wasted.
But even still, too, because you gotta figure you still gotta have a strategy as a pro.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta. I remember watching Generation Iron, and I remember when Rolly lost to Tampa. He was banking on that Tampa getting into the Olympia, and then he didn't win the Tampa. He was like sick, you know what I'm saying? But then they was like, you can go to Great Britain to get to fly somewhere to the UK. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, he had to try to do it to try to qualify. It's like, man, trying to qualify, bro, as a pro, that shit is fucking hard.
Especially since they got rid of the point system. So now you actually have to win
no
the
point
show.
system. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why I say that's what's dope, because it's like, dude, when you get there, you go on that high, like, ooh, shit, like this is, you want to feel that every year, but everybody don't go every year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, some people, they go, they miss a year, maybe miss a few years, and get back. There's only a few that really go every year.
That I think would fuck with me mentally. Like if I was a pro and I qualified for the Olympia, oh my god, bro, and I qualified for the Olympia, I feel like that would be like my new standard. And if I didn't get there every year, I'd feel like I failed.
Because you think you're supposed to go every year.
Yeah, which obviously isn't realistic, but like, unless you're like that elite, but like I don't know, bro. That would
you gotta get there. Yeah, it takes time to get there, and that's why I say too, because you know, like if you pay attention to like John Jewett's first open show was the Legion. He did good, you know what I'm saying? And then he did his debut. He picked the Vancouver. Why didn't he pick New York, or why didn't he pick one of these other shows? Because you still want to have some kind of strategy as a pro. You know what I'm saying? If you want to win, you want to get that experience, you want to get that notoriety, because sometimes I knew that for me as a pro, I knew when I turned pro, my first show wasn't going to be nothing big. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to go and feel like I shouldn't have been there, because you still got to see where you at as a pro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that exact thing like completely derailed his career, among some other things, was Cody Montgomery. Bro, that kid won everything under the fucking sun, turns pro, and then jumps into the Arnold Classic for his debut like a week later, got smacked around, and then like was like done.
Yeah, but I mean,
No, you don't remember what happened after with Cody? He came back to Texas and placed second.
Yeah,
and
but he was doing
like, what?
But he was doing like 212 or something at that point, right?
I don't remember. It's been a minute.
I think he did two. I think when he came back, he did 212. But like that kid turned pro. Like he won the I think it was the USA's or something at like 20.
Yeah, he crushed Team National. He was looking nasty.
Yeah, he was like one of the youngest pros, and like he just then walked into his pro debut. The Arnold Classic, Ohio, was his pro debut, bro. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I think though you got to have some sort of common sense. It's like you turn pro and you do your pro debut with the Arnold. Like you need to have some sort of like realistic goals of like what's going to happen.
Yeah,
there. You know what I mean? Like
I think he was just.
You think you're going to win the Arnold? Like there's some delusion right there. Like if you're going to do the Arnold as your pro debut, you should at least be like, okay, this is what I want to try to do. I want to bring my best conditioning, show people I can come in shape, get some momentum, and then go from there. You know?
I think he was just young. I think he was young and immature at the time, and I think the hardest thing for some of these people, bro, is when you win everything, and then you start to lose. Like they don't know how to handle losses. Like he was a kid, and he won everything he ever did. You know, and everyone was like, "Oh, you're the next thing. You're the next this. You're the next that." And then you walk into like with the big dogs, and you get smacked around a bit, and all of a sudden you're like, "Oh shit." Right. And I just think he was too young. I don't know what he expected going into that show, but all I know is I've heard him speak about it, and it fucked with his head.
I think though, like when you turn pro, and this is kind of how I view things, it's like unless you're like one of those like top genetic freaks, it's like you turn pro, it's like you're almost competing amateur again. You're at like the bottom of the barrel, and you have to build your way
work your way up.
Like that's see, to me, like that's the journey and the challenge that makes it fun.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
But at the same time, so I don't know if everyone agrees with this, but I see something a little what I think is a little different. I agree with what you just said, but when I hear people talk and they say it takes time, here's the thing: when you've been competing for 10 or 12 years and then you turn pro, most of the time you're not going to now put on 15 pounds of tissue. You're just not. It's not like you've been fucking off and just sucked for 15 years and then you just figure it the fuck out. Most of the time, you've been doing everything you can and you're slowly getting better, and then you turn pro. And then you maybe place like 15th, and then you get a little bit better. But there's not everybody turns pro and then fucking just takes off like Samson. Some people literally turn pro and then don't get much better. I'm not trying to say this to call people out, but it's and then they get the people that are not getting better and then say, oh, well, why? Why? Because they've been doing it for 15 years. And if everybody could put on tissue at the rate 10 pounds a year, we'd all look like fucking Marcus Rule. I mean, let's take Regan, for example. People say, oh, well, he does a bunch of other stuff. He doesn't really want to win. Look, I've never talked to Regan in my life, but I call bullshit on that. Sergio Jr., he looks great right now. He's 300-something pounds, but I can look at the physique and tell you he's going to look the same as he did on stage before. Blessing is 300 pounds and he's a little heavy. He's holding some body fat. I can look at him and tell you what he's going to look like. He's going to look no different than last show either. Like these guys are going to look much better, but it's not because they're not trying. They've been doing this shit for a while, and their bodies are kind of just tapped out when it comes to gaining muscle. You know, and it's like it's frustrating when I see guys say, "Well, you know, maybe in 3 to 5 years, and then or a couple years, and then after 2 years of off season, they're like, well, I don't understand. He doesn't really make any improvement." Like, guys, this is not his first year competing. He's been doing it for 15. Like, what do you think is going to magically happen? I mean, even Clint Beastwood, he's got bigger, but like, he's not. A lot of these guys that everyone thinks that was going to break out randomly, they haven't. You know, because. Even Andrew Jack, they're like, oh, man, he just turned pro now. Just wait in 5 years. Andrew hasn't put on any tissue since then. It's because he's a big dude. He's not going to gain that much more muscle, maybe a little, but people just think that bodybuilders are going to continue to put on muscle for as long as you compete, at the same rate. And I think that's kind of crazy.
Well, there are some exceptions. So, like, let's take like Ian Bayer, for example. Like, he was a pro, and he was sponsored with iForce Nutrition. So, him and I got to work the Olympia booth in 2015. And he looked a certain way, but then fast forward that 5 years later, like, he improved that much from where he was.
Definitely, there are exceptions. But that's what I'm saying. Not everybody's like that.
Yeah.
Exceptions are the guys that are just created to do this. Like, not everybody's doing that. I would say the majority of guys, when they turn pro, they will get a little bit better, but they're not going to completely change their physique. I mean, John Jewett did. We start naming these top guys because we see them because they're the top guys. How about the fucking 5,000 other dudes that squeaked into the pros that never competed because they know that I can't compete with these guys. Like, I'm proud of myself. I turned pro. I got to put on 30 pounds to be big enough.
That's what makes the pro level interesting too, because me and my coach was talking about this, and this is just facts, man. A lot of people, I'm one of them because I'm gonna speak for myself. A lot of us have genetics and we turn pro. Then when you turn pro, everybody's got genetics. Now you got to figure out, how do you develop and get better? You know what I mean? Like, I showed a picture of my back in 2022 when I was deadlifting over 600 pounds, and I had no back development because I'm not engaging my back. I'm just ripping that shit up. When I cut down, I look good, but I'm not getting no connection in my back. And I think a lot of guys, when they turn pro, they don't start to learn how to, like, preserve your joints, really isolate your muscles more, focus on proper engagement. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if this is my range of motion, I need to be able to contract my muscle from here to here and back. And that shit is painful as hell for a lot of people. They don't want to do that time under tension, and some people's lifting styles just need to evolve too as they get older in the sport. You know what I mean? Because that banging and clanging, that shit'll get you so far, but then at some point your body's going to break the fuck down. And it's like you said, in 5 years, you gotta figure out how to make that adjustment to continue to progress. If it's not muscle, then it's development. You know what I'm saying? Sharper lines, deeper cuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I saw Sebum from 2019, and then when I did it in 2022, he literally looks different every year. Every fucking year.
But again, the names that we're throwing around right now are the top guys in the world, right? Like, Sebum, I'm not knocking his work ethic or his genetics, whatever, but this is not some cat that just trained harder and just did things better than everybody else. I mean, genetically, he was given a gift, and
I didn't know he tore so many muscles either.
What's that?
I didn't know he tore a couple. I didn't know he tore his quad. He tore his bicep. Like, hamstring. He's torn, hamstring. Like, he's torn some muscles within his range. I'm like, that would make somebody quit. You know what I'm saying? That would make somebody be like, man, I'm not doing this shit.
I think it comes down to just overall, like, work ethic and determination. But on top of that too, it's, when you're trying to refine your physique, there are some things you're going to have to completely change, and all those little tiny details that maybe didn't matter before now matter. Like, you have to basically check every single box, and you also have to train with, with intensity and still be smart about it. Like what you were saying before, like, I built my physique over years of just stupid heavy lifting, very explosive training, like how Brand Warren trained. That's how I used to watch him and Ronnie train growing up. So I'm like, I'm going to lift like that. But now what I do this year, and I'm getting a whole new amount of growth from it, is, I'm training more like Justin Shire trains. Super slow and controlled, full stretch, like really just executing each rep flawlessly. It's not as fun as training explosively, but at this point, it's like, this is what my body needs. Like, I don't even squat anymore. Like, my coach doesn't want me squatting because it's just not going to be conducive to my physique.
Chris Pantano hacks.
He's like, just throwing that out there.
Would you say Hex?
I say Chris Pantano lunges.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to change that name. Lifts or something. But I've done seated 405 military presses before. Like it was great for building overall thickness and size. It's just, now it's like I need some refinement. I need to really focus on executing all of these reps and sets properly to get that next level of development.
Bro,
You got to be an open mind with it too. It's like I did a bro split all my life. Now I'm doing some training where I'm doing like back, chest, and triceps on a day. You know what I mean? So it's like stuff I'm not used to, but it's creating new stimulus that I never had before.
Yeah. Hearing you say military press 405 makes me sick to my stomach. My shoulders fucking screaming.
Yeah, luckily I don't really have any joint pains, but I mean, I have some videos where I did like 315 for 20 reps, 365 for 10, 405 I got for like 3 or 4. I've always deadlifted in the 700s and stuff. Like, a bad day on squats, I'd hit 585 for like 6 to 8 reps on like a bad day, And now I'm not doing any of that stuff. I mean, I miss it, but I want to at least apply myself to the best that I can to get the best and to get the most out of everything that I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, because most people forget too, and that's the one thing that I'm learning is it's like that stretch is so important for your muscles to grow. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when that fight or flight kick in, you don't want to get that stretch because you want to get that rep. But it's better to get that stretch and try to do your best to hold your composure within that rep instead of trying to herk and jerk and speed through and just, it's like you say, like if I'm doing 20 reps, I want my 20 reps to match. I want rep 20 to look like rep 1. Even though my body is like at 7, this shit fucking hurts. You know what I mean? And I got to do 12 fucking more. I had to do the same thing in just in my training and that. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't getting nothing out of deadlifting 600 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Squatting, all that. You know what I mean? Like I had to change a lot of things with my training too.
Well, gentlemen, I gotta eat my last meal because
Me too.
Yeah,
it's getting late.
Likewise.
Chris, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Dude, thanks for having me, man. This was great. It was great meeting all you guys, Luke and Doug, and I mean I've already known Brendan and Blake.
I gotta follow you on Instagram if I don't.
Yeah, bro.
It's Chris Pantano, which is P as in Paul, ANTANO, squats.
We're gonna have to change that last part though.
I know. I think I'm gonna have to.
Got you. I just followed you on a Grizzly, man. Yeah. It was definitely nice meeting you and talking to you, brother. I love to meet all the guys on the cast, man. So I appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll give you a follow back there, sir.
That's a bet. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. Luke, I'll see you on Saturday.
Yep. You guys have a good night, man. I'm gonna eat my food too. I'm hungry as hell.
Yep. All right, guys.
All right, fellas.
All right, bye guys. God bless.
Yep.
Take care.
See you.